You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make an image of any kind and bow down to it or worship that image. I've been in some foreign countries. In fact, one I'm thinking of right now. They have a couple of thousand gods. They have 1,200 gods that they have names, 1,200 main gods. I've been in their country, and not one of them is a nice-looking god. They're all evil-looking. And they're mean gods. If you don't do this and that, you're going to get punished right now. And I see people that are poor and starving giving food to this false god. So don't take any image of any kind or bow down to worship anything. Number 3 of the 10 Commandments, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. That's pretty simple. And of course, here in America, you would notice that lots of people take the Lord's name in vain. It's common among men and women. And if you really mean it, then you take the name of his son in vain. I mean, if you're really, really angry, God says, don't do that. It brings curses on you when you participate in that. Now, men, women, sometimes we just are around people, you can't avoid them, who talk like that. But I can remember back in 1974, somebody on the job saying, hey, I never hear you cuss. I never hear you use a bad word. And I said, well, I got no use for that. I said, I'm a Christian, and I believe God is real. So I got a chance to share it with him a little bit. And later on, I led him to the Lord. He said, I want to be like you. And he had a very foul mouth. I won't go into that story. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember to set aside a day to gather together with other believers, sing and worship together, pray for one another, and see what miracles God will provide there and downstream. You heard of some miracles of God healing. God is in the healing business. Number 5, honor your father and mother. Honor your parents. Well, I have ministered to quite a few people. I'm very fortunate I had good parents. But there are some people I've talked to whose parents were mean, vindictive, drug abusers, alcohol abusers. And I've heard them say, I could never forgive my parent for what they've done to me and my brothers and sisters. And there are times that the only way you can forgive such a terrible, terrible desecration of life is with God's help. You can't do it on your own. You need God's help to be able to forgive. You shall not murder. Well, that's a pretty good commandment. You shall not murder. That's number 6. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. That's having relationships with someone who's already married. God says, that's really bad. Don't do that. That will hurt you and them and the whole family. Don't do that. Okay, that's pretty easy. You shall not steal. Well, you heard a testimony that Jasmine had her car stolen from her. Hey, nobody would like that. So she called and asked us to pray, and we went to prayer immediately. And like Dave said, she got her car back this morning, and the bad guy's in jail. Okay, kind of a win-win situation. But what if we didn't go to prayer? What if we didn't ask Almighty God to intervene in this problem or this difficulty? Where would she be this morning? She knew what to do. Number 9, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor or lie. Okay, you're not supposed to lie against your neighbor and say, well, he did this or he did that. You're not supposed to lie in court. That's a pretty good commandment. Not at all hard to follow. Don't lie against your neighbor. That's easy to follow. I don't have any problems with that at all. Number 10, you shall not covet anything of your neighbor that belongs to him. You shall not covet so as to steal from him or commit adultery with his family, or don't covet those things. I'll supply your needs according to my riches and glory. And God over and over says, ask me.